The jQuery methods we've seen in this stage, like load, get, post, and get JSON, are shorthand methods that make certain types of requests easy. But under the hood, each of those methods is built on a more robust and complicated method just called $.ajax. Let's take a look at it. The $.ajax method looks simpler than the other methods. Its basic structure is this. The URL is the same as for the other methods, the URL for the request. The settings argument is where things get a bit more complex. The settings argument is a JavaScript object containing one or more key value pairs that set various options of the request. One look at the documentation for the $.ajax method on the jQuery site, and you can see that there's a lot of possible options with this method. In fact, this is the ultimate AJAX method for jQuery. You can do anything AJAX is capable of with this function. Let's take the post example from the last video and rewrite it using the $.ajax method. First, we'll replace $.post with $.ajax and remove the data and success callback. We'll add a second argument, this time a JavaScript object. Let's take a look again at the jQuery documentation to see what some of the settings are. Okay, here's one. It's data. Data is an option. It's used to send the data to the server, so we can add that to our settings object. We'll give as a value the form data, the data that we pulled out of the form when it's submitted. We next need to specify the method for this request. Remember, it's a post method, not a get method. We also need to run a function when the request succeeds. Let's take a look at the docs again. Here's a success option, and it takes a function as a value. So that's a callback. That will be what will run when we successfully get a response from the server. This code produces the same results as the $.post method we used. So why use the AJAX method at all? For flexibility. The $.get, $.getJSON, $.post, and $.load functions are convenient, but limited. For example, using the $.ajax method, you can set a timeout, a number of milliseconds to wait to hear back from the server. If you don't hear back from the server in that time, something may be wrong. At least, you don't want to make your site visitors wait any longer. So you can quit the AJAX request and then do something else. In addition, if you're making an AJAX request that requires user authentication, in other words, a username and a password to access the URL, you can set that up, a username and password, to pass along with the request, but only if you use the $.ajax method. For many cases, you'll be fine using jQuery's shorthand methods for most of your AJAX requests. But it's worth looking over the jQuery documentation to see what's possible with the $.ajax method.